Is up, comic book fans, movie fans, and all guys who love things DC, Marvel, and whatnot? So, today I wanted to actually talk about something that's been on my mind for a little while. So, like so many of you, I am a huge fan of the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy. It's epic in every way: shape, scope, and form, character development, storylines, the very depths to which it actually goes into not just the Batman character but the Bruce Wayne character, the villains, how everything on all the plot points tie together so well. Yes, it's like this. There are some people who do have a few bits of criticism, and that's absolutely fine, and I totally respect that. I'm not in any way trying to say that, all three of these are perfect, but each one has their own set of fans. And for me personally, as much as I love everything that's here, I personally kind of like the last part, which is The Dark Knight Rises. And a huge portion of the fan base kind of gravitates to The Dark Knight, the middle one. Obviously, that is vastly elevated by the phenomenal performance by the late Heath Ledger as the Joker, and I think that it's just something that elevated that movie to another level. But having said so, I think we need to go to the genesis of things first, which is Batman Begins. And I'll admit that when I first saw or knew about this movie, was actually on a movie poster that I happened to see at a theater way back in 2005. I had not heard any news. I had not seen anything. Ironically, I think that, like so many fans, I just kind of felt I was done with the Batman movies, especially after the disaster that was Batman and Robin. It kind of felt that Batman's on-screen career was virtually in the garbage dump at this point. So I didn't really know much about what was going on. I certainly didn't know much about Christopher Nolan. I had sort of seen Christian Bale, but I wasn't really the big fan I am of his acting as I am now. A huge fan, not just with Batman, but many other roles that he's played. But anyway, coming back to the point, Nolan did something phenomenal. His team and him did something so phenomenal, and looking at all the details, like literally God is in the details, excuse me. But just being able to resurrect Batman's career on the silver screen, being able to deliver such a phenomenal set of movies that even if you watch them today, you're still, glued to the screen, riveted in your chair. You just want to know what's going to happen. And as so many guys on YouTube have pointed out, some really good reviews that I've seen, they've actually talked about the fact that there's a good balance between the Batman character and Bruce Wayne, something which we didn't really see earlier. And I think that's so true. So I think that from the movies themselves, while all of us know them and there's plenty of reviews, I wanted to talk about, as the title of this video was, that could there have been a fourth Batman movie? And if there was one, where could it have fit in the storyline? Now, obviously, we all know about The Dark Knight Rises as to how it ended. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who's not seen it as yet. But the truth is that if you look at it, it does feel like a very complete story. However, one thing that has always bugged me and played on my mind is actually, you could say two things. One is the fact that while there's a good balance of, a showcasing of the Batman character and Bruce Wayne, I just somehow felt that there wasn't enough time actually given throughout the entire storyline, devoted to him just being Batman and striking fear and so on. So it just got me thinking that if at all there was a fourth movie that was made, now obviously it's been 8 years since The Dark Knight Rises came out, but if at all, suppose, I don't know, maybe if Christopher Nolan ever had a change of heart, if Christian Bale ever was willing to reprise his role and so on, could there have been a fourth movie, and who would be the villains? I'm going to get to that, but the thing is that for me as a kid, I had always, I always did like Jack Nicholson's portrayal of the Joker. I grew up on the Batman TV show with Adam West, and just loved everything which was over there. But the thing is that, and I think Cesar Romero, if I'm not getting his name wrong, excuse me if I am, but I think he really drew me to the Joker character first, and I saw Jack Nicholson's portrayal. Obviously, other people have tried to do it. Joaquin Phoenix, I've done a review on that. There's a link over here if you guys want to check it out about the Joker movie. But the thing is that aside from the Joker, aside from Scarecrow, Ra's al Ghul, and Talia al Ghul, and Catwoman, Anne Hathaway did a phenomenal job as well. They actually had Bane. And Bane is been one of my favorite Batman villains. You know, one of the three Batman villains I love. So the Joker, Bane, but in between Joker and Bane, there was another villain who I really love, and I really wish would get a proper treatment. And maybe you guys might remember this treatment. I'm not trying to take anything away. It was a product of its time, but and no disrespects to Jim Carrey, but I would have really liked to seen this villain be a part of the Nolan, storyline or film saga for Batman. And if at all a movie was made, where could it fit? And I think, guys, that this is where it could fit in. If at all they ever did it. Now, obviously, it's quite late in the day. The trilogy is done. We're moving on. We're getting a new movie that's coming out and all. But just suppose, let's just play around with this. If they ever did anything, that's probably the spot where they could do it. Just to show him being Batman and just building on the saga, a bridge movie between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. And what would we call this movie? As Batman has another name, aside from The Dark Knight, which is the Cape Crusader, and he was obviously on a quest to do things, maybe this could have been the title. The Crusade. Perhaps. You guys don't have to agree with me. I'm just a fan, just sharing my thoughts. And I think that from a villain standpoint, besides the Riddler, I would have loved to have seen them do Mr. Freeze, because Batman and Robin virtually destroyed this character, that film. But Mr. Freeze, and I would dare say this guy, Man-Bat. Now, I know a lot of guys might agree with my first two choices, but they might freak out with this third one, saying that, because Nolan's trilogy was so, embedded in reality, he made it so real and all that. Man-Bat's more of a fantasy kind of character. Some of you might say that, some of you may not. But I think Nolan would have made that work. I think he really would have. And it would have been so interesting to see these three very unique villains be a part of this story. And coming back to it, I think that it could have really been the complete story, which would have given everyone everything they wanted. Now, obviously, you can't please everyone. Again, I know a lot of you guys might think this is a cool idea. Some of you might think it's a horrible idea. Too much time has gone by. Some of you might be like saying, yeah, maybe we should do something like this. Nolan should consider it and so on. Again, I'm just a fan. I don't even know if anyone's even, if this idea would ever reach them or not. But the thing is, I just wanted to share my thoughts. I think that, having an extra movie like this would have really given the storyline something, it would have really lifted it up even more. I mean, not that it needs any lifting up, but I think it would have given it something unique, something that could have, been pretty interesting as well. So it sort of, goes from Batman Begins, The Crusade, or whatever title they would have given with these villains, and The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. So those are just my thoughts, and it's just something which I wanted to put out there to the wider fan base, just to have a dialogue, see what you guys think, see what you guys feel, and so on. Again, guys, huge fan of this trilogy. It's phenomenal. I don't want to be like a fanboy fanatic and say that it's absolutely perfect in every way. I mean, I'm sure there are some things which maybe, but you can't really just pick like that. I mean, not that you can't, but I just think that it delivers. It really resurrected that. It changed the way movie cinema looked at superhero movies. Case in point is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Case in point is about how, as I said before, Batman's career has been elevated again on the silver screen. And obviously we're going to get something pretty phenomenal, hopefully, in the Batman movie that comes out next year. So as always, guys, thanks so much for all the love and support. Thanks for sharing and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Would love to hear from you. Would like to get to know your thoughts on what you feel and what you think about the Nolan trilogy and about this possible idea of there being a fourth one. I do look forward to interacting with all of you soon, so take care.